Saw the Riot tweet about the queue times. I've been streaming for 5 hours, 40 minutes and 12 seconds. I played 2 hours, 47 minutes of actual gameplay. The remaining 2 hours, 52 minutes, I've been in queue, champ select dodges. I've spent more time in queue than in game. Real problems and we are aware of it. Potential solutions to parts of this problem. Interest in how appealing or not these are. 1. Pre-config some amount of champion select and reduce time in champion select. I 100% think this is a good step to the, like, just in general, I think League of Legends champion select takes more time. Now, how are we gonna reduce the amount of time in champion select? I think the answer to this is maybe like when you're hovering the champion, that's 15 seconds completely wasted. Yeah, just the animations it takes after the bans are concluded, this and that, like things could be speed up a little bit. I think Riot could easily make champion select on average be 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds less, easily. Auto accept the queue pop. This just depends on the reasoning why it's there in the first place, which I assume is to not make people who are AFK in front of their keyboard randomly get into champion select. I think this one doesn't sound like a good idea. Third, full kill dodging or much larger penalties for dodging to descent. You could full kill dodging, but or make dodging have more penalties for sure, but again, this is not only a positive thing, right? Like you remove the dodging, you fix one part of the issue, but you empower another part of the issue, which is that when one chicks get autofilled and they just hostage and grief the lobby and you can't dodge, then it feels like you're just going into a lost game, stuff like that, right? Like in Apex tier MMR, which is where the problem lies, which is where the discussion is about. Lots of people saying they prefer not to play out jobs that their team loses. They also prefer when the opponent team doesn't play out jobs that your team wins. Lock rank queue times to set time frames daily, forces everyone into the pit at the same time. This is a horrible idea. I think auto accept queue pop is nice, but just quality of life. Third is the only real thing that could impact this queue time, so should be tested. Doesn't work that way. The longer you wait, the more tolerant the system is. I get it's counterintuitive, but longer wait times mean worse matches because the system is waiting to try to find a better one up until then. Okay, I mean, I'll talk about this a little bit more after the game, but Riot could literally just... there's no real good solution to this, but I think the best thing they could maybe do is to just make challenger players match with master players, which I know sounds horrible for the game quality, but it's better than waiting 20 minutes in queue, IMO. What's the point of having a decline button if I have to wait anyway while queuing? Decline, fail to accept is functionality meant to confirm that there are 10 people actually there and ready to interact with the game. I feel like a part of it is also loading time. Sometimes you have to wait 5+ minutes for people to load in. Okay, this doesn't happen in Apex tiers. Like, this is completely cope. Like, here's my problem with this tweet. This tweet that this Rioter put out is literally a tweet for challenger players, or maybe master or grandmaster. It is for nobody else, but majority of replies I can guarantee you are not even master players. Like here, this guy talking about loading times, bro. Loading times are super short. I think making Grandmaster Challenger a completely separate queue and being unable to queue with Master players unless you drop back then allows you to completely kill dodging in Grandmaster Challenger. So yes, but also that can deterministically lock some players in some regions from getting a game, which seems bad. If you full kill dodging, you're only going to bring a horde of new problems into the game. Dodging is a consequence of issues that are unaddressed, not one itself. This is partly true. Say more, what set of issues would we have to address to be able to kill dodging in your view? Actually start punishing people who grief and champ select by means of troll picks, hover bans, extreme toxicity. You know, those who make the experience unbearable before the game even started. Behavior systems feel so neglected currently. Sure, so help me understand the rules you actually wish existed. Do you want us to tell people they can't pick certain champs in certain roles? What are the limits here? Should you never be able to ban a teammate's hover, even if you don't want to play against it? Yeah, it's very hard to draw where the line is. I mean, this Rioter is asking really good questions here, because people just think it's so easy as just do this, and they don't think about, okay, you do this, but then what happens? The percentage share of dodging because of griefing is way lower than these people think. The amount of dodging done just because of comps or matchups is much higher. Yeah, I agree, for sure. Queue times this high, 20 minutes, are almost uniquely an Apex tier problem. If you're queuing at Master Plus, you're there to sweat. I kinda don't agree with that. I mean, I partially agree. Because Master has so many players in the world that Master tier itself is not really to sweat. I think Grandmaster forward, you're there to sweat. Like, when Master tier has this many players in the game, I think Master Tier is, to me, the same as Diamond. Like, I don't think I can draw a difference. Here's an idea, make the game better so more players play. What, like, see, like, what a useless tweet, right? Like, what is he even supposed to... Larger penalties for dodging to descent. As an assassin, one trick... Fuck no, what if their team comp is filled with tanky champs? I gotta dodge them to fix how broken resistance is. So your position is that anytime someone gets counterpicked, they should get to cancel the draft. That is so funny. Like, you ask them this question, and then you counter the logic that the same applies to the enemy team, and then they won't be able to give you an answer. Oh, yo. It's actually really funny reading these replies. Although unfortunate and inconvenient, I think dodging is a fundamental part of the game. Those of us who are only able to, are only interested in intent to climb with specific champions to specific roles, shouldn't be punished for daring to dodge. It's interesting to hear this because it's an output and extension of role select as a system. I don't know that I buy that letting one-tricks extend wait times for other players is not good for the matchmaking ecosystem, even though one-tricks obviously prefer that experience. Yeah, this is just a biased perspective, 100%. Can you guys remove out-of-field junglers? That's a good suggestion. We could do anything, but the result would be longer queue times. That is true. Speeding up champions deck can be easily done by implementing pre-bans. Choose 2 bans before queuing up, and as soon as you join, fast animation plays summing all the bans. This can be done in a soft way, avoiding teammate towers and completely denying intention to declare one champion's moving away from one chick's favorite system. Wait, what does he mean by this? So if you have a one chick and you pre-ban that champion, then the one chick will get banned out, no? Am I missing something here? Or does he suggest 2 bans for that reason because you try to avoid, like, if one is hovering that, then the ban won't go through or what? Like, is that how it works? I'm a bit confused what the sub means here. Not a huge thing, but it would be nice to have the option due to long high queue times. It is insane to me that dodging has been left as a mechanic for this long. It should have never been a climbing tool. One player shouldn't have the ability to terminate a lobby due to his preference. It has been extremely damaging for game health, queue times, and general game culture. Dodging carries nothing but downsides in the long term, and it's baffling to take Riot this long to consider. And for the people saying, what if there's a troll lobby? I must. Dodging trolls, make sure they are never detected so Riot can do anything about it. See, like, I don't disagree with what he's saying, but it's also a perspective that doesn't account for all the other things. Like, the reality that the sub doesn't really get here is that I think there's a lot of players in the game that only like to play a specific way or only enjoy one champion, and this is why they're kind of forced to dodge. Now, yeah, you could make the argument, alright, but if dodging isn't there in the first place, they're gonna adapt and this and that, but I don't know. Are they going to? Are they all going to adapt? Maybe, like, I don't know. I don't have the answer. Damn, but don't you think, like, Ranger, don't you think, like, I mean, put yourself into your position. Some jobs are just mega unplayable as a Tryndamere player, and you only enjoy playing Tryndamere, right? Some jobs are just, like, factually unfucking playable as Tryndamere. Like, wouldn't you hate the game even more if you have to play those games? Like, your case is even more severe because your champion is so one-dimensional that, like, there's just so many things that counter it. As a girl, we got fucked over. There's one player having the power to just kill the lobby isn't fair. If someone in your team picks Yuumi jungle, should you go on and play the game? In my opinion, yes. I have always had the perspective that even if somebody trolls, like let's say somebody locks in Nunu Clan's Ghost, I've always had the mentality that you should still go and play the game. Because while yes, it sucks, and the game is 99.9% lost, the reason why you go out and play the game is so then there's a higher chance to get banned, no? I mean, sure, there's champion select reporting and stuff, but... Okay, anyway, to kind of conclude here this topic about dodging, this is obviously very, very bad, right? That, like, Gryffin can't play the game, or, like, this is the problem in NA in general. Like, NA just has that queue times, which is why I said many weeks ago that I think the best thing you can do if you're an NA content creator is to do what Solar Baka does, which is just queue up on EU West and play with 100 ping. I think this is generally the best thing you can do. And I wouldn't play, like, if I'm right now Shimmer in NA, I would play on EU, I think, not in NA. I think Riot should, in my opinion, make servers, treat servers differently. And what I mean by that is, I think in NA, when they have such a huge matchmaking problem, they should definitely match challenger player with master players on that server. Like, this is just too much of a queue time. NA should just match master players with challengers. Like, you just have to. You just have to. And you're saying they already do. No, guy in chat, they do after you're in queue for 20 minutes. I'm saying they should do it after you're in queue for like 3 or 5 minutes already. Stockholm, are you ready? The NSC is heading to Sweden this summer. Get ready for a blast on August 30th and stay tuned for more information. God damn! And then they have lost their tones as the picture. Damn, anyone from Sweden here, guys. You guys can go watch us. I mean, if we make it to the final, which we probably will. That is sick. I love it. Gonna be so fun playing in Sweden. Chovy English AMA. Let's look at the interesting answers. Place you want to travel overseas. Okay, that's irrelevant. Share the playlist you've been listening. That's irrelevant. You said you become a morning person due to your busy schedule. What is your personal method to overcoming fatigue? Thank you. Fatigue, right. I've tried and I realized there's no way to overcome fatigue. When you're tired, I sleep in the car. If I sleep in the car, it becomes a bit more bearable. And then I just think, well, everyone else is living on a tired life too. This is just life and I carry on. There's nothing special you can do. You just live and life goes on. There's one thing about being tired though. If you start thinking, why do I have to live like this? It gets harder. I'm so envious about your skin. Is it naturally good? If you have a skincare routine, please share your secret. No, my skin wasn't originally good. Even now I have something breaking out here, but it's getting better. My skin isn't that great. As for management, I used to go to the dermatologist. But it's been about 2 or 3 years since I last went. I need to go to the dermatologist to get my moles removed and get some laser hair removal here. What did I do at the dermatologist? I went there, met with the clinic manager and director, and they recommended me this package and that package. I don't know anything, so I just said, okay, let's go with that. See, like, guys, are you reading here? This is exactly how professional League of Legends players think. Okay? Now, obviously, we're talking about skincare here, but use the same concept and just apply it to League. They think the same way about champions, builds, runes, anything about the game. They're just like, oh, okay, you must know better, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't do any research, they don't, like... First, I set about 3 alarms, I make sure I can get at least 4 hours of sleep. Yeah, so this is a big problem in Korea, obviously, right? Like, it's the culture problem, where the culture makes these people think that the less you sleep and the more you play, the more rewarded you will get. But it actually should be the opposite. Like, how do I explain it? Like, this is so wrong. This is so wrong. Like, I can guarantee you that Korean pro players, if they would just sleep 8 hours every day instead of 4, their practice would be so much more productive that it would outweigh what they're doing now, which is 4 hours of sleep into playing all day. This is so self-destructive. It's disgusting. But it's because of the culture. Like, I don't even blame the individuals themselves. It's what the culture forces them to do. And if they don't do it, then the culture is going to be like, well, everyone else is doing it, so you're in the wrong, goodbye. Yeah, this is horrible. This is like insanely self-destructive. Set about 3 alarms and go to sleep thinking, if I don't wake up, something terrible will happen. Then you'll wake up. It's like, bro, this guy has like implanted complete demons into his head. You say my face gets oily. Sleeping 30 minutes is more vital for survival than having an oily face. What job would you want to have if you weren't a pro gamer? I probably would have been a game streamer. I think I would have streamed a variety of different games. Because I have so many games I want to play. Waste. What came first, chicken or the egg? It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. You used to wear glasses, but you don't these days. Why? They were blue light blocking glasses, but I wore the blue light blocking glasses. The blue light comes from the monitor, and blocking it before it reached my eyes made my reaction time slower. So I don't wear them anymore. Okay, this could be complete cope, no? Like, what? Blue light blocking glasses make your reaction time feel slower? I think this is just complete placebo effect, no? I think it's just... This is just cope, like... What I do eat? Water. I drink a lot of water. I just drank a Zero Coke and I think it's the first one I've had in a week. It's not that I have a specific food I like, it's more that I consider the nutrients. I ask myself, is this nutritionally sound? From that perspective, I eat hamburgers often because they're nutritionally balanced. Oh my god, Chovy, that's not how it works. This is, I mean, obviously, like, he's obviously trying to apply some sense to it. But I think it's a lot deeper than he thinks. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, most burgers that you eat are from restaurants, and usually like restaurants, I mean, the way they make the burgers is like a bunch of like oil and shit, like a lot of stuff, and it's not very good for you. I'd like to go to Japan. We often see you play top lane in solo queue. Do you ever think about switching your position? As a pro gamer, I wouldn't change my position, but if I were a regular person, I might I might play top lane often. But honestly, if I got to the point where I was switching from mid to top, I'd probably quit League. This is kind of fair. I feel the same way, maybe. I would say like years ago, I would say like 4 or 5 years ago, I enjoyed top lane like so much as my secondary role that if like somebody would say you can't play mid lane anymore back then, I would have easily just played top lane back then. But right now, playing top lane, I just don't enjoy it, so I'd probably be in the same boat almost. To improve laning phase skills, what are the top 3 advanced techniques one must learn? Psychological warfare. Okay. I get that part. League is a lot about psychological warfare in one way or another, especially when you're high elo and you're playing against another high elo player and you're both aware of the game you're playing. Like, you're both aware of these small little details that high elo players fight for in lane, like just denying a cannon minion or positioning yourself in a certain way or freezing the wave or like a lot of different things, right? So this makes a lot of sense too. Minion management, I guess you want to say. This is hard to explain with words. But there's a thing with minions. The ranged minion have a specific attack animation, and you have to interact with it well. All former pros will know this. Based on the ranged minion's animation, you know what action you need to take to get the maximum benefit. You know that thing when minions are crashing into the tower? If a low health ranged minion is at the front of you, you intentionally tank one tower shot. If a low health ranged minion is at the front, you intentionally tank a tower shot? Have I ever done that? I don't think that's ever applicable. I don't really get this one. Oh, he meant tank and auto attack. Oh, okay, it's a translation over. Okay, error. During the auto attack delay, the minion that was attacking you moves back. That's the minion that enters tower range, blah blah, the order changes. But the thing is, when I explain this, I think there are people who understand what it's at and people who don't. Yeah, I mean, this is the difference with like a high elo player that understands like all these mini concepts and, you know, just like an average league player. They don't really understand that. That's how it's divided. People who need to see a video or a visual aid to get it. So you can think of it like this. If you heard that a picture formed in your mind, you're in the group that gets it. If you think I can picture that, you're in the group that doesn't. This isn't a matter of comprehension ability, but a difference in your understanding of League. Yeah, that's how it's divided. Okay, cool. How do you perfectly track the enemy jungler's pathing? I don't track the jungle pathing perfectly, but if you have a vision in the enemy jungle camp rotations are pretty standardized these days, so you can get a rough idea of their location, as long as you have the information. This is very true. Like, League in high elo, in my opinion, more so this year than any other year, like this and last year, has been completely figured out. Every jungler will play the same way in high MMR. Every laner will play in a very similar fashion, unless it's like Baus, who's very unique, obviously. Especially like jungle is just very figured out because, well, the best way to play jungle is to full clear. And after your full clear is done, you have like a minute or two of doing something, which is usually objectives or ganking. And then once your timer is up and your camps are about to spawn, you at some point need to take a base and you need to start your cycle again. It's just how it works, right? Like, it's just a champion genuinely low. I don't think I have one. I like the champion with the highest win rate. Okay, so this is very robotic response. He just wants to play whatever's the best, I guess. Is there a champion you personally believe you're the world #1? Right now, I think I'm the best at Talia. You praise for being in your best form. Can you share a secret to continuously elevating your skills? I don't know the answer to this one. Because structurally, my practice time this year has decreased compared to previous years. It's structurally impossible for it to be more since I have to go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier. So personally, my practice time has gone down, but my gameplay has gotten better. It makes me wonder, is it because I'm staying away from solo queue? I'm starting to think that. I think I'm playing solo queue accumulates contained data. Okay, basically this is fake data. He's talking about the fake data that a lot of pro players mention these days. Yeah, solo queue can teach you very bad things when you're a competitive player. I don't think there's any other reason, because when I think about it, there's no other reason for me to be better this year. Chovy, just wait. One day you will actually realize that you are going to be even a better player when you sleep 8 hours per day instead of 4. And you're also going to realize that when you eat like healthier food and maybe even go like to gym and stuff, you're gonna be playing even better. Just wait till he gets there, guys. We're not there yet. Do you use Smartcast? I use it by default. The champs I don't use it are Talia, Victor, and Rumble. Okay, that's interesting. Like Victor and Rumble are usually examples of people who don't use Smartcast on. But Talia is usually people do use Smartcast on that one. If you win World, what champ would you want to be made? I think I'd pick Talia. I'd also like to pick Galio. What do you mean? Don't talk about skins? Have I ever had a year where I didn't talk about skins? There's been many years I didn't, but just because you don't talk about doesn't mean it won't happen. Okay. Talia and Galio seems cool. Okay. When a game isn't going well during practice or a tournament, how do you manage your mentality? In a tournament, if I think the game is doomed, then I just focus on finding the best possible outcome for the doomed situation. In solo queue, if it's doomed, I just think, yep, it's solo queue, it's a broken game no matter what you do, and just let it go. Wow, that's so based. I feel exactly the same. In solo queue, whenever I let go of my mentality or not, the game will somehow become winnable if I just do what I'm supposed to do. There is this though. Since I played a lot of League, even if I lose my mental focus, my brain and hands are already automated to make the best possible plays. So whether I'm focused or not, solo queue games just eventually become winnable. Yeah, okay, bro. He's just saying he's too good at the game. He's literally just saying he's too good at the game. Wow, that is just giga chat. When everyone on your team is losing their lane, but you're carrying, do you feel hot-headed or cold-headed? I don't know if this is for tournaments or solo queue, but for tournaments I get cold-headed. For solo queue I get hot-headed. Why is the game like this when I'm playing like this? I think as my body starts to heat up. Okay. That makes sense. Like cold-headed means that he's like, I guess hot-headed means that he's like more ragey. More frustrated, maybe? A champion you are truly fond of. I don't have one. I said this earlier, so I don't have a favorite champ. What is your most memorable moment from this season? Pentakill? Okay. Signature pick? I don't know. I feel like I just play whatever champions come out recently. My signature champion. I do think it's Asol. During that MSI, when I picked Asol, I just feel like I couldn't lose the game. In-game settings. In-game fixed at 50. My DPI changes every day to day, depending on my condition. It's been decreasing by 50 each year. Right now it's 1450. Well, that's very interesting. In the past, I felt like most players would actually increase their DPI over the years, but Chovy has the opposite effect, which is decreasing it, which is exactly what I did. I used to play in 2000 DPI, and nowadays I do 1800. I've done the same thing. I actually started decreasing it, and I realized that I'd actually play better with it. Since you gained some weight, lean Chovy is out. If you had to change your ID. Pro players sit in front of the computer for a long time. Do you do anything to manage your eyes, back, or wrist? I do manage them, but honestly, even if you don't manage them, I think as long as your posture is good, it's fine. To be a pro for a long time, I think this. Even if I weren't a pro, I'd probably be sitting and gaming this much anyway. So rather than posture management, I think mind management is more important. Mental health. Bro, reading this makes me so sad. Like, I feel like he just accepts that he's suffering. That's how, like, it's just like Cat Despair, you know? I do think that I kind of actually maybe agree with that. Like, mental health might actually even be more important than these things listed here. But all of them are important. If you could become one LoL champ, what would you choose? I would choose Shen. When we have to take long haul flights overseas, I'd send my luggage ahead and I'd send luggage, rest up, and then take Shen ult. Twisted Fate has range limit. Okay. I mean, most players think always choose a champion that has like some sort of like teleportation, mobility, or something like that. Yeah. What do fans say that gives you the most shanked? I don't know. To be honest, it was kind of like this. I don't really feel the emotion of I gain shanked because of something a fan said that strongly. Just the fact that fans are cheering for me is in itself a source of shanked. It's not that they have to say a specific thing for me to feel strong. Okay, that's kind of based, yeah. This is a very good answer. Favorite top lane champion? I don't have one. What's your personal tier list for the Genji players in Arena? Is there a player you would want to team up with Arena? Which teammate do you prefer to the team the most? Dorn and Canyon are the most fun. Ruler is fun. But actually, they're all fun. They're all fun. I think Chovy probably realized in the middle of answering this question that you can't just pick a teammate, because then people are gonna be like, hey, why didn't you mention this guy? So you just gotta say everyone is fun. If you had to play one champ for the rest of your life, who would it be? If I had to play one for life, I would choose Orianna. Because if you play Zoe for 100 games, the results will have a high variance. But if I play Orianna, honestly, I think I could produce a similar expected value across all 100 games. Bro, Chovy's way of answering things is just like he's a robot, man. It's just like he just doesn't care how much he has to endure or suffer. It's just so robotic. How do you manage your schedule? You just reduce your personal time. I have to get my community service done quickly, so I use my personal time during vacation to do it, and I also do it when there's a long time before the next match. This bad, man. If you were given the choice again, mid lane? Mid. I must play the mid position. There are many reasons for it. Is there a non-mid champion that has caught your eye? I'm really good at stacking Senna souls. No, he speaks like a mid lane main. To endure a long season, mental fortitude is important. How do you handle your emotions off and on stage? In the past, I've worried about it. Am I living without emotions? But recently, I've come to really like living without emotions. Okay, here we go, robotic again. In this world that makes you angry, for my own emotions to be tranquil. As I get older, I've started to think, this is a good thing. I like living without emotion. When necessary emotions are needed, well, I suppose they're necessary then. Chovy. This is just another example of how flawed, dangerous, evil, I don't know what word to describe, Korean culture is. When it comes to just like, Korean culture answer to everything is just work, less sleep, work, less sleep, work. It's just so self-destructive. Gryffin has reached a verbal agreement to join Loud in the LTS out. What do I think about this? Where do I start? So Gryffin said that he's giving League one more shot before he finally moves on. Because he spent like, what was it, like 2 years in Korea or whatever. And he has to like do something, and NA is not looking too good, right? Like as a future, being in NA is just like, I don't know if he's gonna get picked up by an LCS org or whatever, but his options are very limited because he wants to be a pro player. It's not like he's gonna be a streamer or something, so he needs to go play somewhere sooner or later. Now he could like wait out the entire year, but the chances of him getting picked up by a team next year that's like a tier 1 league is just so low. And I think in this article they also say that he had academy offers, right? But he doesn't want to play in academy because playing in academy is a waste of time, which I agree. So his options are, I mean, I guess the only tier 1 option that he has is to go to play in Brazil, right? Or like LTA South, whatever. Yeah, I think this is fine. By basically going to LTA South, he will most likely have to stay in LTA South. You know what I mean? Now he probably has to just accept that he's going to cater to Brazil audience. But what do I actually think? I think orcs are fucking crazy to not pick him up or give him a shot. Let me give you an example, okay? BDS is looking for a new top laner or jungler, right? Because they already have one import slot on ADC, so they can only take one import on top lane jungle. They went for Academy top laner, they got like Rooster or someone like that, right? But they might as well have gotten Gryffin and looked for another top laner, you know what I mean? Like that would have been a good addition to the roster, but it's not like BDS knows what they're doing, they don't. Which other orc was making roster changes? Like for example, Fnatic would look to pick him up, no joke, right? SK could have picked him up. BDS decided that it's better to spend 200,000 on Bakuda instead of taking Gryffin and getting another top laner. I don't know, man. I just think these decisions make no sense. Like if I was any LCS orc or any LEC orc and I was looking for an upgrade in any role, I would just sign Gryffin, literally. Why is Diablade allowed to do abuse Smurf in Masters on account after account? What does this threat mean exactly? Why is Diablade allowed to just make hundreds of Smurfs, ruining literally thousands of games, especially at high MMR, so never ever play on his main account? He just completely ruins competitive integrity, yet alone the fact that he's duo with a jungler who is also smurfing who just dives the enemy top and repeat. This is so unfun and should be banned. First of all, what should be bannable is the fact that he's most likely not using his hand-leveled accounts. Most likely the accounts he uses are just bot accounts. This is what should be bannable. But if he's playing in Master tier, in my opinion, that is not smurfing. I have always held the stance that if you're a Challenger player, playing in Master is fine. It is completely fine. I think playing below Master is not fine. If he obviously has to go through Diamond and through Platinum to get to Master, I mean, such is life, right? Like, you have to climb the account. But the problem probably is just that he buys accounts. That is where the problem lies in. He just buys accounts. Also, you have to understand that he's, like, Tearblade, just like any other content creator from NA or even EU, it doesn't matter. The content creators are not incentivized to play in Challenger. You have literally 40, 20, 30-minute queue time. For what? Like, for what? Everything is harder. Like, your whole life is harder. You spend more time in queue. It's harder to get YouTube videos done. It's harder to play off-meta picks. Like, and also, like, people, like, why does it matter if he duos with the jungler? Anybody can duo below Diamond, bro. This is not just a below Master. This is or below Grandmaster. This is not just Tearblade specific. Literally, anyone can fucking duo and smurf. Like we're just blaming Tearblade here because he's the one doing it. But like, there's literally thousands of people who smurf and stomp people while duoing. You should complain at Riot for allowing to duo if that's what your problem is. It's not a Tearblade related issue. So what I think is happening is Tearblade is just a very hated icon in the League of Legends community for some wrong and for some right reasons. So it's very easy for people to just make a Reddit thread and dunk on Tearblade because he's just hated by everybody. But at least if you hate on Tearblade, you should hate him for the right reasons, IMO. Jungler Skeanz has been acquired by SK Gaming to play in the LEC. Negotiations for the player's contract from Supermassive settle around 15k. What the fuck? Bro. Like, just look at this roster. Korean, Skeanz, Abadage, Kedui, Korean. Like, I don't think it makes any sense, the roster building. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't.